This is a man who is a strategic leader. I usually say that he has presence in every home. He is the chairman at Bidco Africa. He is a businessman, an entrepreneur par excellence. He's an industrialist. He's the chairman of Bidco Africa, where he steers the company to growth into new markets and products. Bidco is a business that is well known, that is involved in the manufacture of edible oil, detergents, soaps, margarine, baking powder, among others. That is why I usually say that Vimal has presence in every home. It is a privilege and it is an honor just to bring on board the chairman of Bidco Africa. This is none other than the legendary Vimal Shah. Welcome, Vimal, and my name is Ian Mirore. I have been your moderator for this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator and the entire CIO fraternity, industry partners, trade association leaders, summit organizers, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to the CIO Africa team and partners for inviting me to give the closing remarks during this very important session. I think the issue is, how is Africa well positioned for the future of manufacturing? I think this is a very important question that every one of us would ask ourselves, would talk about it, and really we ponder over it. I think manufacturing is certainly a key pillar of Africa's economy. There are immense opportunities for growth on the continent. Also, it's very important to note that manufacturing actually holds huge potential in the future. And as Africa navigates the path of recovery post the pandemic, well, despite recent challenging global economic conditions, there are still bright spots in Africa's manufacturing sectors that the timeliness of today's conversation on Africa's Industry 4.0 is vital. I think the first and foremost is that if you look at your tables, you look at what we import as a country and what we bring in, and what we've been looking at consumption is going to go on. It's not going to stop. The key question is, where is this consumption going to be met by? From what manufacturing, or local or imported stuff? And I think for this to take place, a very relevant topic of wrapping on Industry 4.0 to this is vital. It's crucial. And to say that we need a company-centric approach to accelerate transformation. We need to be transforming ourselves completely. I mean, digitization, Industry 4.0 is clearly it's not a department, it's not a division, it's actually the whole company to say, let's go and change that. And I think of late, we've had African governments which have actually resolved and indeed committed to uphold partnerships with private sector, and they want to ensure that you're equipped with the capabilities and that you fully reap on advanced manufacturing opportunities for all our countries. One of them is, of course, the vaccine issue that we're going through right now. But apart from that, there's so many others. And I think the enabler is governments. The enabler is that it's inevitable we have to do something at the same time. So the question is, governments trying to create an enabling environment, and of course, we all must keep lobbying to make sure that it opens up. But the fact also remains that a lot of people don't even understand what it requires, what is really needed in order to make this happen. And I think the question then is, what can Africa do? What more can we do together? First and foremost, I think specialized skills and a mindset change. Very, very vital. It is time to produce people with specialized skills that are required to work in Industry 4.0. I think the old hog of I've opened a shop and it's working and people should customers should come in and just come and shop from me, not going to work. That to me is one of the biggest challenges of mindset change, to say, I need to change. The consumer is now much more educated. They actually know what's happening. And I think when we address that, the question is, what are we talking about? We've got a huge resource. We can call them unemployed people, but just re-educate them, repurpose them, reskill them, and make things happen. So it's a mindset change. And I think Industry 4.0 needs a mind shift. It needs a paradigm shift also that talks to this mindset of how we do things. We do things differently. Because of COVID, We've all started shopping differently. We've all started buying things online. And I think that's something that's going to be here to stay. Second thing, I think working together. The entire fraternity needs to work together to capture the Industry 4.0 opportunities. To successfully capture this, I think we need to go beyond government efforts, beyond individual company efforts, and come together as a community of people to say, let's make the enabling environment even better. And therefore, we work as one community, staying ahead of the curve, because Africa's got bandwidth. What don't we have? If you talk about New York, London, or Europe or Asia, what they have, we also have. We have availability, we have bandwidth. And therefore, when I look at a lot of SMEs, and I think a lot of SMEs are trying to work with investors to look into different ways of upgrading their capabilities, including taking small steps as they start their journey. I think we just need to leapfrog to the latest, onto 4.0, and really make sure things work together. I would recommend that everybody in the industry, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's 4.0, work together to say, let's pull together, pull our resources together, emerge into this mainstream, and really make Africa leapfrog. We don't have, the benefit is we don't have the legacy systems of the old school where people had invested tons of money in old systems. We don't have that, and therefore we can leapfrog to the latest. And I think the latest is available. So in concluding, I would just say it is exciting. It is very, very exciting. So I'd like to pose a question to every one of you. How excited are you with the future of manufacturing with Industry 4.0? We talk about robots, we talk about chatbots, we talk about bots everywhere. The fear that people have is that, oh, we're going to lose our jobs. I think we're going to create more jobs if we just get onto the bandwagon and say, let's be with it. One cannot afford to be out of it. One cannot afford to be staying aloof of it. I think all we require right now is let's leapfrog, get into it. And Africa is well positioned. Consumption will go on. Let's create that supply side, which is a very good problem to have. Thank you. Thank you to the CIO team. And thank you for having me here. That's my closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vimal Shah. Good afternoon, and how are you doing?
Fine, good, all well, can't complain.
The last time I met you was, I think, 3 years ago at CIO 100, where you were already talking about Industry 4.0. You had already started your journey as Bidco, and it was amazing to hear a businessman speak very powerfully about technology. How has the journey been since then?
I think it's exciting. I think it's opening up very rapidly. It's opening up in many places. Now we talk about fintech, we talk about ag tech, we talk about health tech, and everything is just going tech, tech, tech. And really, it can't be a tech industry on its own. It's got to be the old school coming together with technology, with information, with data, and amazing data availability. And I think this is something that we can really ride on and make things happen. And we can actually remove a lot of our problems. So it's been exciting. I think bandwidth availability of a lot of enabling environment is good. Obviously, we need to work together to talk to government and say, these are the things that are missing. Let our small startups start off without any impediments, until they get to let's say a turnover of 20, 30 million, and then start looking at taxation or whatever. But initially, let's kickstart them to start getting things done. And I think we have beautiful brains. We have people with ability. So what don't we have?
Right, Mr. Shah, we have everything that we need in this continent. And, this afternoon, as I'm sitting at my desk following the proceedings of today, I get this social media post from CNBC Africa. I see you're already smiling. You actually reposted something around thanking CNBC Africa and FinTech TV for the honor, and looking forward to being on the show as you change the FinTech world and make Africa leapfrog into the future. So does this mean now you're actually looking at FinTech seriously? Are you looking at collaborating FinTech into your Industry 4.0 plan at Bidco? I'm sure you've done some amazing things since the pandemic. Do you want to tell us a little bit around that? And if you've done the interview already or not, and so that we can wish you luck?
In the next 10 minutes, I'm going on to CNBC to talk about it. But I think the issue is FinTech, absolutely. We're on board with FinTech, and I think it's the next stage of every one of us. And we really need to get there. We are looking at that. We're enabling that. And I think this is why I say Kenya, we've got a huge platform to just take on the whole of ACFTA, the whole of African continent, Digital Free Trade area, open up the entire fintech area, and enable more manufacturing, more products to get there. But it's got to be linked in to synchronize with logistics too. So there's a lot of that happening, and I think it's an exciting space. We are into the middle of it. We are supporting it, and we'd love to encourage more and more fintech people to start innovating in a much better way. I think what we lack sometimes is that finesse, that right final edge, and we need to get to that. And also, I think finance has not, or capital has not yet been attracted good enough in terms of getting that done. We just need to make that cluster much more stronger.
Yeah, I do agree with you. And, you know, I love it when you talk about we've got the right brains, the right minds, the right energy. This is why we are known as the Silicon Savannah. Everything that is that startups are doing in our market today, we must take advantage of it and push it out to the rest of the globe. And I'm looking to people like you, Mr. Vimal Shah, to drive this agenda. You've done very well from a manufacturing perspective. I'm so happy to see that you're actually thinking about fintech now. And how do these two different industries talk to each other? And we bring in edutech, health tech, insure tech, you know, all these other things, and make Africa the full digitally transformed continent from every possible vertical and perspective. Thank you for doing our closing. We wish you all the best with your interview. I'm going to ask my audience to log into CNBC Africa in about 10 minutes and listen to our closing speaker, Mr. Vimal Shah, speak about fintech in Africa. Thank you and take care of yourself. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard from one of the biggest Industry 4.0 champions in Africa and East Africa. It is no lie that you either get on board or you get out. Now, if you want to survive, Industry 4.0 is here for you. I am speaking to you from a perspective of listening to all the content that you have also listened to today. Industry 4.0 is about reliability, sustainability, efficiency, but also empowers your workforce. The reason why you are in business is so that you can be successful in whatever you do. Listen, you have to optimize everything that you do within your value chain so that your profitability can go up and you can have greater customer experience with regards to customers picking up and using your products. Secondly, data. I talked about data during my opening remarks. Data has been spoken about through the whole day. With all the hardware that you have within your organizations as you're trying to automate, you're going to be collecting a lot of data through CRM, customers talking to you, through data that you collect as the manufacturing process is going along. The question is, what are you going to do with this data? Okay? How are you harnessing this data? We're in the era of adopting data. What do you do with all this data? It cannot sit there and you're not harnessing it to make better business decisions, put your strategy together for the next couple of years. The best thing about data is that you can predict the future. So use this data and use it wisely. Cyber security. With digital transformation or Industry 4.0, cyber security is a very, very sensitive issue today. You saw the other day the way over 1,000 companies in the globe were brought down by one cyber hack. You do not want to be there. It takes over 20 years to recover when your systems are hacked. So please, ladies and gentlemen, really look into cybersecurity within your organizations. Yes, we are preaching to you to adopt technology in your manufacturing space. But remember, security is about the whole organization. Every individual who interacts with a gadget or every individual who interacts with technology at any point within your organization has to know something about security. So this is where you partner with your HR departments and make sure everybody is educated. It's not about the CEO only. It's not about the IT department only. It is about the whole organization. So let's use technology responsibly. Finally, the manufacturing industry in Africa has a lot to benefit by leapfrogging into Industry 4.0. Remember, as Mr. Vimal Shah said, we have to leapfrog, and we must take this opportunity now. We need to look away from creating one-size-fits-all solutions. How about we think about customizing, localizing, making relevant the solutions that are being brought to our market so that they make sense to our audience? Yes, we do not have to reinvent the wheel, but we can localize some of the things that we do. And remember, as Mr. Shah said, we are looking at creating jobs for the youth. There are so many out there. How do we get them on board? Some of these youth can come on board and customize this software if they get the right training to do this. We have brilliant minds in the continent. We have a lot of resource in the continent. And remember, our continent is wholly made up of youth. So how do we take advantage of them? How do we take advantage of some of the startups and some of the amazing things that they are doing? Let us look at incubating some of their solutions within our organizations and be able to adopt them after that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fantastic day. Up next, on September 23rd, we have our InsurTech Summit coming up. I know each and every one of you has some kind of insurance for your personal, for your organizations. And you would love for your InsurTech, for your insurance to be digitized. So reach out to your insurance supplier, reach out to your insurance broker, let them know that on the 23rd of September, CIO Africa will be hosting the InsurTech Summit, and we will be talking about digitizing the insurance space in the continent. Take care of yourselves, keep safe, and have a great afternoon.